What's up, y'all? What is up? It's your girl EJ, and welcome to the recap, y'all. So, we are here with another Zatima episodes 9 and 10. Tamika Zen and I'm about to bring her in right now. I actually thought we were both in, but y'all know I'm still learning. All right. Oh, there you
Hey.
go. I thought I had you in there already, but I didn't. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming through. I know we're a little late, but we are here. We are here, and we are ready to talk about Zatima because it was so much going on, y'all. Like it was a lot,
Mm-hmm.
a lot to get through. I'm just gonna start out with the number one question: Is our couple gonna make it, girl? Are they gonna make it?
Mm-mm-mm. I don't know. I remember somebody last week. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said they was gonna break up by the end of this season, and yeah, I was right. I mean, it's just a hot mess, y'all. It's a hot mess. I'm pretty sure that they are gonna be able to come back and talk. But it's just so much stuff that happened in these two episodes, and of course, we were seeing the breadcrumbs throughout this whole season of different stuff that just was coming in and trying to block them and knock them out the way. We already discussed how most times it's not them themselves. Well, sometimes it is, but it's like the added in from the family and the friends that kind of intensify it and make it even worse. And this was definitely where it was like a bomb went off and just blew everything crazy. How y'all doing? Hey, Jay Tucker. Hey, Candy Love.
What up? What up, everybody?
Hey,
Erupting is
Shay.
outside the door. Yeah, I was trying to let you on in the door so you could come on in. Uh, yeah, hey, Candy, Jay Tucker, Shari, what up? What up? What up? Katie. Yeah, so
Mhm.
let me see what we got here. First and foremost, let me just say thank you to everybody who came to each and every one of these lives. This is our first collaboration together, and I think it went pretty well. We had a little bit of hiccups here and there, but I think it went pretty well.
It's definitely been fun. I've been enjoying this. We got to figure out what's the next thing we could do together, but I've
Oh
definitely
yeah,
been
for sure.
enjoying this one. Hey, Daria.
Hey, it's Aria. Yeah, Shari. I think love will triumph at the end of the day, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of us don't necessarily like the way that they've shifted this couple, but I think in real life people go through things, and that you can't necessarily have a where it's all the time so great. So it is what it is there. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all, we got another special guest that is going to be coming up with us today, y'all. I'm so excited to have her here. This is her first time. This is everybody's favorite diva. Hey, Nita.
Hey, Nita.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be here on your channel today. Thank you so much for inviting me. Well, I felt like I really invited myself, but thanks for having
Hey,
me.
either way, you here. That's all that matter.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that you even watched this until you brought it up to me a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, wait a minute, because I know I'm the only one that really keeps up with sisters. So
Mhm.
she's more like you, EJ, when she said, yeah, she got into this one. So I was like, oh,
That's what's up.
I didn't get into sisters, but you know, just
Me neither. I made it to episode maybe one, maybe three, and that was it for me. But I look at Tamika's reviews and Erica Vane's reviews, and that's about the most I get out of it. But I gravitated to this show for some reason, so I was like,
okay.
all
yeah.
right, Candy. Okay, Candy says Zach gave a dramatic pause. I'm certain he didn't sleep with Connie and her braids. Lord have mercy. I hope not. 'Cause
I hope not. For some reason, I don't really think he did either. But it's like, why don't you just be honest? Like, I just want to shake him.
Right, right. Because I don't
exactly.
believe nothing that mother, whatever comes out her mouth, I don't believe it. So
Okay.
with her saying that, I was just like, I'm gonna
Mm-mm.
take that with a grain of salt. But because he was just kind of like stuck, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Hey, Monique. Yeah. And the cat doesn't believe so either. What's your cat name? I forgot her name.
Kayla.
Kayla. Angela?
She be quiet the whole time, all day, y'all. And then when I get on live, all of a sudden she want to talk.
She said that they was doing the most too, so she just letting us she expressing her frustration. But
Right.
her frustration was that the continuous drama back to back to back. Yeah, I mean it was a lot of drama. I ain't even gonna lie. This go around we had a lot of drama and it was continuous. It was ongoing. I think somewhere around the time when Zach's mom showed up. Okay, there we go. Zach's mom's the problem, y'all. We figured it out. Get rid of Zach's mom and everybody's good.
Yes.
So let me go ahead and get some of these slides up, y'all. So this is mid-season, by the way. So the second half of the season, probably more than likely, because Sisters comes back when, Tamika?
I'm not even sure. Usually he don't take that long of a break. His shows be coming back fast. But I haven't seen them post anything yet. I've been checking, so
Yeah,
but I don't think it'll be too far off.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he'll probably come right back with this as soon as
because they take pretty fast.
Yeah. He worked hard on that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. They be quick. All right, let me get these slides up so we can get into this episode. Was this the first thing? Okay, yeah. So the first thing we want to talk about is the dinner, y'all. Like the first dinner. The first dinner was a lot. First of all, y'all, the fact that Dr. Reed comes in and he introduces himself to Angela, I said, what in the world? Did y'all not have a game plan? What did y'all think about the way that they tried to bring this together that kind of flopped?
That's the first thing I said. I rolled my eyes. I'm like, first of all, you supposed to be her friend. You supposed to already know her. But yet you coming in like, hi, I'm Dr. Reed. And she's like, hi. Everybody's doing introductions. And Jack is looking around like, she don't even know this man. So y'all already blew up the spot right then and there.
Exactly. That was crazy to me. I said, come on now. Y'all could have done better than this. And Angela, I'm like, girl, why wouldn't you just say, hey, Dr. Reed, like something, like have your girl back, okay?
Right.
Too much. All right.
Hey,
so,
Inga.
oh, there's Inga. Hey, Inga, how are you? I love
Yeah, that was a hot mess.
Yeah. So at the dinner, we're going to see, hold on, let me get my other part up. So at the dinner, there's going to be this revelation, Bryce's revelation. Now, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I didn't know what the heck Bryce was into, but when we found out what he was into, I was like, okay, Bryce, I can low-key kind of see this. What did y'all think about Bryce's revelation at the dinner?
I'll let Nita go first.
I felt like it was what I thought. I thought he was fluid. And I thought that he just kind of like went with the flow of things. Like he could do or he could not do or whatever. Whoever he was into, he would be into. But the thing is that he kind of fell into this bad predicament with Zach while he's with Angela. And so I was just like, there's no excuse. You can't excuse that. So, I mean, I understand people being fluid and you can go this way, that way, or whatever. That's fine, but you can't be doing that while you're trying to be dating. I don't know if they was exclusive, but it felt like he thought that they was exclusive. But exactly. I don't know, but I felt like it was fine. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. What do you think, Tamika?
I was surprised, but not surprised. I just wish that they would have kind of been more direct, because I see somebody said that Bryce was acting different. I think that was Candy Love. And I did feel like he was acting different. They started out in one direction, and then we just all of a sudden started going another direction. And I know some of y'all don't watch Sisters, but I mentioned this before. It was a character named Jake on Sisters that when the first season of this started, I said, is this supposed to be like another fake Jake? Because it was a lot of similarities with the dynamics. And with that character, I felt like he was trying to hint at wanting to do like a foursome type of situation with him and his girl, and then Zach and Fatima. And then we're getting the same thing with Bryce now, where he's finally coming out and saying, oh, I thought we could all get it in. And they like, what the heck are you talking about? So I thought that was funny. But, you know, obviously him and Angela did not talk a lot at all before they jumped into this relationship. They just kind of, and her too, because she didn't even seem to notice none of the signs or anything. They both kind of jumped into it and just was going without really knowing all of the full stuff, and then he just kept putting his foot in his mouth. He brung up the whole fetish thing, which that's real. There's some people out here that be just having these fetishes, and he was like, well, I don't mean it the way it sounds. Yeah, that definitely didn't sound good.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Make sure you're hitting the like button as you're coming in, guys. Go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
do your girl a favor. Just hit that like button. But yeah, I mean, it was very interesting to me that he ended up being a swinger. I guess I just thought, that he, was just into whatever he was into, but I didn't see the swinging thing necessarily coming. And the fact that he wanted to swing with Fatima, I'm like, you got to tell people this stuff ahead of time. Wait a minute. We can't just go in a relationship and you talking about swinging with my friends, and that was a bit much for me, Bryce.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That's a lot. I understand why Angela was like, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And even Fatima Zap was like, what?
What you say? I do her, she do me. That's it.
Right.
We're doing that right now. And I was like, dang, I knew somebody was gonna throw it in there, but But once again,
Mm-hmm.
it's been what we on, like day 3 right now in the show, maybe day 3, somewhere around there. They killing me with this. Let me check out some of these comments. One commonality between Jake and Bryce was their attention to Fatima's sense of
Mm-hmm.
fashion. Each were always complimentary. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Candy had to say. Fetish was a big turnoff. Oh yeah, Angela was
Yes.
not trying to hear that. He definitely used the wrong words, and I don't even think he meant it in a negative way. It just came out very, very negative and inexcusable at the end of the day. You got to pick your words right, Bryce. Um, okay, that one's for you, Nita.
yeah. I was just making sure. You sound very good, nice and crisp. I can see that mic right there, so I was just making sure.
Okay. All right, y'all. So let's move on to this next clip. Well, y'all know I do not try to play clips in here no more because y'all know StreamYard be doing the mess. So I just stick
Mm-hmm.
to the photos now. Okay, y'all. So after we got through Bryce's fetish, then Dr. Reed decided to read everybody, except for Fatima, ironically, which we'll get into that in just a second. But he decided to read everybody and give everybody what he thought. And like I thought, I knew Zach was going to take this very personally and like he was being attacked. And y'all know I've always said that I am very partial to everybody in this show. Once again, I didn't look at sisters, so I have no allegiance to anybody. I'm not Team Zach, Team Fatima, Team none of that. I just go with who right and who wrong and call it out. But Zach was being very, he was just doing a lot at this dinner. I understand he got ambushed. I get that part of it. But at what point do we just take a little bit of accountability and just do something different? I don't know. I got a lot to say about Zach tonight, y'all. But we go, and I got a lot to say
Yeah.
about all of them, to be honest. But we'll come back to that. But he tells Zach, he talks about his childhood, his father, and he's picking up on things. I mean, he's really good at what he does, clearly, because he's picking up on all these things. He reads Angela and Bryce. What did y'all think about these conversations? Doesn't matter whichever one, just his whole read of everybody. You go ahead and start, Nita.
I think he was on point with everybody, but the one thing that you did say that stood out the most is that he did not have any kind of assessment on Fatima, and so that makes me look at you kind of like with the side eye as far as him and the light skinned bay construction man. I can't think of his name.
Mm-hmm.
There is some kind of it may be unconscious, but I still feel like there's something that is kind of playing behind the scenes with that.
Yeah. And Shari said that Dr. Reed assessed Fatima on their initial thing. And I do agree with that.
Oh
Definitely
yeah,
agree with that. He does kind of give her his, work, because she keeps saying not me, it's him, like she doesn't need it. And I do remember all that. But I just felt like in this scene, had he have maybe said something to Fatima, maybe Zach wouldn't have been so defensive, just maybe, because at this moment it felt like he felt like it was a gang up on him per se. But I definitely agree he did do that. What did you think, Tamika?
Yeah, this scene right here. I mean, I already said last week this wasn't gonna go good. I mean, I wasn't shocked by Zach's reaction. I mean, he do know what he's doing, obviously, because he did give a good breakdown in reference to Bryce and how him and Zach may look at things differently, and he gave the whole breakdown to Zach and even broke down Angela. But just like y'all, I was like, wait a minute, we not gonna say nothing about Fatima, and we not gonna even address the fact that Zach did have a point. How do you bring somebody here to analyze me and watch me and have this whole equation of what they think I am and how I am based off a little bit of facts that they see at a dinner table without me knowing about it? And he kind of just glossed over that. And, so I was like, what's going on here? It was a little unethical. I don't know no doctors that just come into your house to do a whole read down on your daggone friends and family without them knowing about it. So I was like, okay. And then even in that moment when Zach was like, so you don't have no issues, and he was kind of calling her out, she still was kind of like, yeah, I do. But, kind of like yours is worse than mine. And then Angela, of course, just wanted to take advantage of it and get down to the bottom of her and Bryce situation that we've been saying for weeks she should have already known. I don't think she needed Dr. Reed to really come in and tell her what she already knew, but it was like, okay.
Exactly. Lord have mercy. I just needed Angela to just grow up. Like, that's all I just wanted. Like, girl, just grow up. Like, we didn't even need Dr. Reed to come and tell you any of this. All you had to do was have a conversation with him. You would have found out a long time ago that Bryce was out here swinging, and we could have all been done. You know what I'm saying? And this dinner could have been much more productive, possibly, without all of that. But I did like the way Angela was like, we'll go. We'll
right.
Go. Like, she pointed when he said something, I can't remember, and she was like, him too, or something like that. I'm like, sit down, Angela. She doing too much. But it is what it is. So Dr. Reed gets up, he leaves. He said he's had his fill. I'm like, Doc, I done had my fill too. Trust me. We've all had our fill at this point. But so he gets up and he leaves. So we knew this was all going to be awkward. Angela is ready to go. And then let me see what I have on here next. Because okay, yeah. So Fatima says that she wants to talk up. Well, you know what? That's right before that. Hold on. So there's a moment when I think this is the slide. So there's a moment when they're right after the dinner table. I swear to God, sometimes these slides just be doing the most. Mixing themselves. Something happens, but. So there's a moment after the dinner, and everybody's gone. Fatima's cleaning up. Zach is over there, and Fatima goes to grab the trash, right? And she takes the trash, and you can feel the frustration in this whole time. And I could read her face when she was like, when she taking the trash out, and she thinking like, why he didn't go take this trash out already? Like, I could just see it. And then Zach is like, why didn't you ask me to take out the trash? Kind of talk about these dynamics, because, and I guess we can kind of group this in with the later thing, because there's going to be a moment when Zach tells her that she doesn't let him be a man. And he's talking about how he comes home and the trash is out, about the tire thing. What do y'all think about that whole situation? Like, about this idea of, being the man, taking the trash out. Yeah, just any of that. What are your opinions on that?
Yeah, I think she feels like, come on, I ain't got to tell you. You see it, you would just do it. And at the same time, I get what he's saying in reference to like the whole tire thing, but when he's telling her, you wait here, I'm going to go answer the door. He made the comment, you've been single for so long that, you're just accustomed to that. You're not used to having to like ask anybody or depend on anybody. You're going to just go ahead and run straight to do it rather than be like, oh, I need your help with something. That's how you just ended up having the guy at the job helping you with the tire instead of calling your man to do it. I mean, yeah, so to a certain degree, he got a point. But on the other hand, when you used to doing things for yourself, because probably half the time when she would be asking people, she got to wait, because I know that's how it be for me. And you be like, listen, I'm tired of waiting on you. I'm going to just go ahead and do it myself. So I think it's that too. But yeah, if
Okay,
you
'cause
see the daggone trash, they don't tell me nothing about you was gonna take it later. And that's how.
yes. Yes, and that's how I was thinking. I was like, so I'm looking at this and I'm looking at it from a personal perspective at this point. I'm like, man, like in my household, like if the trash needs to be taken out, somebody just take the trash out. Like it ain't necessarily, oh, I gotta wait for my if I see the trash needs to be taken out, I'm not gonna wait till he get off work to go take the trash out. Like that's just not how that's gonna work. I'm just gonna take the trash out. And if you see that the trash needs to be taken out, well, just take the trash
Take it
out.
out.
Like,
Right.
why is this a conversation? Like, some things it felt like they were just making into a lot. And I was like, well, let me ask y'all when y'all get on because maybe I'm just,
No,
maybe
no, you ain't tripping. This does tend to happen, especially Zach is dealing with some pent up sexual frustration because they're not having you know that
yeah,
on a regular basis. And he gave him a pocket pee, and so it's just like I feel like now he just wants to have a reason to say conversation. They're now a conversation because he has all this pent up energy, aggression, or whatever. The basketball ain't doing it. His friends ain't doing it. It ain't getting done. And so, but the thing is when you have to sit up there, like, I don't want to be your mother. I don't want to have to tell you to take the trash out. Like, no, you want to be a man, you be a man and you do the things that you're supposed to do. Now I understand the whole thing about the tire. I think he has a valid point about the tire. Maybe called her, but maybe he is a working man and it doesn't work like that. I'm not gonna act like I'm some damsel in distress. I'm gonna get it done. I'm at work. I know you at work. What I look like calling you? Like I may tell you at the end of the day I had to get my tire changed. Like, what do you want? So I think a lot of it stems from the pent up, aggression between both of them. Like it's a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, shoot, if something happened with my tire, I'm definitely not going to call my husband and be like, hey, can you come all the way over here and get this? No, I'm about to call AAA or whatever roadside assistance we have or whatever the case is. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I can't change a tire. I learned how to change a tire, but it ain't nothing that I ever wanted to do. So that's why I get roadside assistance, so if something happens, somebody can come change this tire, but I'm probably not going to call my husband and ask him to come from work to come change my tire. So, and there's a certain, and even I remember being single, there's just a certain level of independence when you're just independent. You figure out how to do things and you don't necessarily call somebody to do those. But it feels like Zach is putting a lot of energy into this you don't need me thing. But Angela did say that Ian said the same thing. So there seems to be a consistency with the men that she's dating that seem to think that she doesn't need them. But I don't know. I don't know. All right, let me go into the chat real quick, y'all. Let's go see what the people are talking about. Okay, they were talking to each other. It's like he needs to feel needed. I agree. Fatima told Angela in a previous episode that her expectations for Zach are low to minimum. Uh, what does that say? Wish eight. I don't know why my glasses are so foggy, y'all. What that say? Wish eight.
No, that's what it says.
Hold on. I think I might be missing a.
Can I
Go ahead.
Tia's question. I mean Tia's comment. It's like he needs to feel needed. Okay. He feels like he needs to feel needed. However, where is the line where you don't feel like you're being used? Because I feel like he has this mother wound, this mother issue where his mother is using him. And that is triggering him to have all of these crazy emotions where he can't regulate his emotions. And so a lot of times, I know me as a woman, I don't want anybody to actually ever feel like I'm using them. So some of the things that you don't normally, like you ask somebody to take out the trash, you ask somebody to come 20 miles to come change your tire when you can just get, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like he has a lot of different layers that he needs
Yeah.
to work out, and we see it. And I'm glad it's all here in these 2 episodes where we get to see the mother and we get to see Zatima. I mean, not Zatima,
Yeah.
Fatima, and how they kind of contrast each other, and how he kind of penalizes Fatima for the stuff that his mother does.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know what that is. It's crazy.
It really is though.
Yeah.
And I know I look at a lot of comments, and I know I see a lot of times where a lot of people, some people don't want to hold Zach accountable for some of the things that he does, but I feel like in these 2 episodes right here, especially, Zach did a lot, and I have the same energy for Fatima for some of the things that she did. But to be fair and to be honest, I didn't see where in these last 2 episodes, specifically, where she did a lot. I saw where she held back a lot. She held back her tongue a few times as she tried to console Zach at the hospital, for example. It feels like another version of Fatima that I saw earlier would have said something to Zach real quick, but she
Exactly.
didn't. So there
But
was
I
that.
feel like, and I think that's a woman's intuition. You know when to pull back. You don't know. You don't. You know. You see, he's kind of unstable and he's rocky, and so whatever kind of pushback she was going to have on him, it would have been unhelpful. So I'm glad that a lot of times she did hold back her tongue, but it didn't really serve her in the end anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So there's going to be a part where we're going to see Bryce and Angela make it back to her place, which I guess they maybe needed a conversation by themselves. I don't know, y'all. I'm so over Bryce and Angela at this point because it was so unnecessary from the beginning. If they had just if they had just talked, but they're back, they're talking, and at the end of the day, they break up, I guess, or whatever the case is. I don't even know. Do y'all even know the purpose of Bryce and Angela at this point?
I was confused with this whole situation, but then I was like, I think I do remember her saying something about she wasn't gonna let him drive because he was doing the wine and the shots or whatever. But like you said, they had the conversation. She asked for her keys. For some reason, I thought he was leaving, but then he still ended up being there. I was like, I thought he was gone already, because even when she was on the phone with Fatima, she has said like, "Oh, I'm still talking to Bryce right now, but he's about to leave." I could swear that's what she said. And
Right.
Fatima said, "Okay, call me when he does." But then it was like he was still there, so I was kind of confused with that. But I didn't really feel like we needed this. I guess they wanted to close it out and have another conversation on their own, just to say, "Yeah, no, this not gonna work. We going our separate ways, and give me my keys back."
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
know
think
what?
he's trying to shoot the shot one more time. Like he just wanted to make sure one last time. Make sure. You sure?
You
You
sure
sure?
you 100%? Because I got this fetish and I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I'm like, Bryce, that was extra.
Right.
Oh my goodness. But I want to go back to something because I meant to touch on this earlier. But when Bryce was at the table and when the doctor was telling Zach about how he responded to men, like the men in his life, because he has no father, and how he may have seen things one way and Bryce may have seen things another way. At first, I was like, ain't no way. He said it straight up. There's no way. But then as the doctor saying it, I'm like, well, maybe if depending on the person you are, you could have taken it out of context. I don't know. What did y'all think? Did y'all think that there is a real possibility that Bryce really just misunderstood?
I mean, I think he could have. I mean, it was a little weird for Zach to say the comment, "Your brain and Fatima's body." So I mean, if he's already into different things, and then he's hearing that, for him, it could have been where he's like, "Oh, okay, you went to different things like me." I don't know.
Right. I agree. I felt like it could have been. It was up to interpretation.
Right.
And yeah, that was a weird comment. Like, Zach, we need to have a little bit of accountability on that particular line by itself. And he kept on saying, I said your brain. And I was like, no.
Right.
We heard you. It does not sound
Mhm.
any better when you say it the second time.
Right.
Let's go to the
Mhm.
comments. Bladen Truth. Hey, Bladen. She said, yes, Lord, she did. That hospital scene was not realistic. Not the Fatima that I have started to see. It wasn't realistic to me either. Zach was acting like a victim in these 2 episodes. Totally agree, Shari. We still ain't see Zach with his kids. Are they? Oh, he got the one that's older, and then he got one that's not born yet,
Mhm.
right? Okay. I bet Angela and Bryce get back together. You know what? They probably could. Possibly because Angela was down for a threesome with another dude. I said, Angela, sit down.
Right.
Yeah.
Perception is reality. And I saw some things that would make him try Zach. Listen,
Yes. Yes. I saw it too. When I was
yeah,
watching it, I was like,
Mhm.
what is going on here? Like, am I getting mixed signals? I felt like I was getting mixed signals.
Right.
And I wasn't even in it.
yeah. Especially like I know some people say, well, I don't know because I'm not a guy, so I don't know what guys do as far as because I think there was a part where Zach didn't he like get undressed in front of him or something like that, and that
Mhm.
was another thing that and Bryce wasn't used to that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's a
Yeah,
good thing.
everybody is different and have different experiences, just like the doctor said. So what he was saying, with that part was completely accurate. Most people probably wouldn't have looked at it in the way that he did, but since that's already the realm, that he's in, or maybe he's been around other people that way, he could have took it like, okay, Zach, you down with it too,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
maybe just because he's not because like Candy's saying that Zach is friendly and playful. He's used to getting undressed around dudes,
Hmm.
sports related. I don't know how anyone misunderstood what Zach meant, but I mean, maybe just because of the fact that he doesn't do that. Maybe
Right,
where he's from, they don't do that, and then of course
right.
where Zach is from, they do. And like you said, Zach was drunk too,
Hmm.
so that is true. Can't
Yeah.
forget that part. But anyway, let me get to this next slide. Let me get this off. Oh shoot. Okay. So there's gonna be a point when Zach comes down the stairs and Fatima actually wants to talk. Now I don't know if she done processed or not, because y'all know she like to process. She don't like to talk
Hmm.
about things in the moment. But it feels like she wants to talk about it in this moment because typically she'll wait before she actually
Hmm.
talks about it. She wants to have a conversation about it. But guess who runs away and guess who doesn't want to talk about it? Go ahead,
Hmm.
Tamika. You take that scene away for me.
What's up, Brillo?
Hey.
Yeah. At this point, he don't want to be bothered. First of all, he's still pissed about the whole doctor being there, and that part, like I said, I do agree with him. I did not feel like that was a smart idea. I didn't think it was gonna go good.
At
I
all.
just felt like even the doctor agreeing to do it to me was kind of bogus. I think that he should have kind of referred her maybe to somebody else that does things the same way, or said, well, see if you can get Zach to come here. But that's not the way they did it.
Yeah.
So it was just like a conflict of interest because you already have a relationship with the guy Paul. You now know things about her and know that Paul is interested in her because you're friends with Paul, but then you're
Yep.
coming to, have this intervention with her man that she's with. That was just too much right there within itself. Which he don't even know that part. He just know you done brung this guy here to analyze me. So
Facts.
I got him being in his feelings with that part, but of course Zach goes from 0 to 100 real quick. So now he's saying he gonna go play basketball, and it's like, you don't want to talk, I want to talk, and they got to do their whole back and forth. But when Fatima's in her zone, she kind of does the same thing. Like I said, they actually got a lot of similarities. She'll
Mhm.
tell him in a minute, like, no, leave me alone. You don't want to talk to me right now. And it was like this was his time to be in that zone where he was like, can I go play ball now? Can I go play ball now?
Yeah,
Like a
and
little
he didn't want
kid
to talk.
pouting. And she like, all right,
Yeah,
just go play ball. Now, what
yeah,
made me laugh with this scene is when she tells Angela that he's going to play ball, and Angela was like, well, do we know that he really going to play ball? And she's like, oh, well, I'll see when he gets back, how he's smelling. I thought that was a weird comment
it was
because she knows that
weird.
Zach goes and plays ball on a regular at that time of the night. That was nothing that was strange. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was weird to me just to say that whole statement regardless because like I'm sorry, but I guess I'm just not that person. I'm not about to be smelling you. I'm not about to do none of this
Right.
extra stuff. Like this just out of
And
I'm
then
not gonna do
Angela
all of
was
that.
like, "Oh, girl, you don't trust him," and y'all know I still don't fully trust Angela, but that's a whole nother
Heck.
topic.
Yeah, Angela is still on the suspect list, y'all. But
Mhm.
did he not give a chance to? But did he not give her a chance to open up? He can't read her mind. I'm just saying. Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, and that's the thing. That's the reason why. Go ahead, Tamika.
Yeah,
What,
no, I was just agreeing. I'm like, communication is the key. We've been saying that their communication skills are horrible,
Right.
both of them.
exactly. Like they are super horrible. They neither one of
Hmm.
them. She needs to process. And it's true when she runs away from things, and there are times when he don't want to talk about things. Like they just don't
Hmm.
talk to each other.
They
They
don't.
Let's see what Shari had to say. In season one, Zach has hugged and lifted Bryce up off the floor. Yeah. Zach needs to know his friends better. How will they perceive my action? He may mean nothing by it. It's Bryce's interpretation. That's true. Yeah,
Hmm.
he might not mean anything by it, but it's how Bryce perceives the whole thing. So, there's that. So he's gonna
Yeah.
run off and go play ball. So that's kind of where we are with that. Let me see if I had any notes on that one, y'all. I had to write down notes for this episode. Let's see. Fatima. Oh, yeah, and that I did write this note down because Fatima tells Angela that Bryce is a nice guy, which I do think that Bryce is a nice guy. I just think he just the right guy for whoever
Right.
into that.
He's not the guy that's the nice guy for me.
Exactly. All right.
Hmm.
So, that was the nice guy comment. Okay, so let's get to the friends, y'all. Y'all, oh Lord, these friends right here, they are something else. Nate says that Zach hurt his feelings, y'all. And then he brings Connie up again. Y'all, I am so frustrated with these friends. And the fact that we find out that whole thing about Connie at the end, girl, I could have just jumped through that TV and shook the hell out of these friends. These friends are ridiculous. What did you think about this, Nita? What did you think about these doggone friends?
They are a mess. They are a mess. I'm like, oh my God. Like it feels like they are playing into the sabotage. Like we already kind of see Zach sabotaging his relationship, and the therapist called him out on it. And then we got friends that's helping you sabotage it by throwing the Connie girl into the mix and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, with friends like this, you don't need no enemies. And then also too, the whole thing where they was going to the job, spying on Fatima, talking about she going in the stairwell. I was just like, no, these are not. Well, I mean, I feel like on one hand they are there for him when he needs it emotionally or whatever, but at the same time they are just like so toxic masculinity. It's just yuck.
Thing. It is definitely a thing. It's like, and for me, it's almost like Tony will take two steps forward. I mean, he'll take a step. Well, I didn't even say two steps forward. He take a step forward and then two steps back. And I'm like, Tony, I was just about to give you a little bit of hand clap, and then here you go. I just don't
Right.
understand. What you think about the friends, Tamika?
Y'all already know I cannot stand these fools. I can't. It's like I didn't like both of them in season one, and then with season two, we discussed it before. I kind of started to be like, okay, it seemed like when Tony's by himself, or when Zach kind of pulls his coattail, then he'll be like, yeah, you're right, and he'll give him something halfway decent advice. But the minute that Nate gets back around him, it's like he reverts some kind of way and falls into the trap, and he be saying the same ignorant stuff that Nate be saying. I just really don't get it. And of course, I've said before, like between seeing Zach's mother and brother and then seeing these friends, it kind of makes so much more sense to me, certain behaviors that he have and that he was already doing. And I'm just like, I feel like he's outgrown them, but at the same time, because they've been his friends for so long, he still kind of just sticks with them because of these being the people that I already been around and not kind of, no one to say, yeah, maybe I may not want to mess with y'all in the same way that I was messing with y'all before because y'all really not doing anything good for me. I mean, they make it obvious that they really are trying to destroy him and Fatima for whatever reason. They don't like her and don't want him to be with her any daggone way. So they're happy anytime he comes with some kind of complaint or says they have any issues. It's like, yeah, now you can go ahead and get away from her. It's just weird, but I
It
don't
is
like
weird.
them.
Yeah, I understand because I loathe them myself, but I don't understand how you could not want your friend to be in a happy, healthy relationship.
Hmm.
Seen him all this time. You've seen him. You know who his mom is. Like you know his history more than anyone. So because you know that, to see him in a happy, healthy situation should make you want to be happy for him and make you root for him. But instead,
Exactly.
they're doing the opposite of that, and you're trying to push
Hmm.
him to somebody who you know has a habit, and then all of a sudden, did we make a mistake? Okay. Idiots
Yeah.
is all I can say. Idiots. Let me read this chat. Don said these friends are too immature. They live in their boyhood friendship. Their friendship has not
Hmm.
grown because they have grown. Just their bodies have. Absolutely right. Definitely.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Yes, no.
Shari says these guys are frenemies. Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, they don't have his best. And I don't want to say that they don't love him and care about him. It's just that it feels like they don't have his best interest at heart because it feels like for me, Nate is always being selfish. He's always thinking about
Hmm.
himself, and he wants to live this single life vicariously through Zach. So
Exactly.
he can't see that, that this relationship could be good for Zach. So it's just crazy.
Hmm.
Hold on, let's see what Shari said. Remember when Tyrone said these guys are trying to beard you up? Watch who you are getting your advice. No, that's right. He did say that episode before last, Mr. Tyrone. And
Hmm.
Remember that.
yeah,
Yeah, Zach. I mean, he got some good advice for him, and then he literally threw it right out right after.
exactly. I don't know what this picture was. Oh, okay, this was when I said that out loud. I was thinking it in my head and then I said it out loud.
When he came home from the basketball.
Oh
Yeah,
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 talking about
yeah, when
you
he
want to
came back.
smell me.
Yeah, that whole smell thing, and I'm like, because I was gonna ask you, Tamika. I was like, "Is this a thing? Is that what she does?" Like, because he said it like it was normal, and I'm like,
Right, like it's their regular routine, but you want to smell me first before I get in the shower.
and I'm like, who does this? And the way she answers him is like, no, like she looked at him like this is not what we do. I'm like, where did this even come from? So I was like, is this like a sister's thing? Like, is this something that they had going on over there?
I don't necessarily remember it from sisters. I know there are some women that do this. It more so came off to me like she didn't feel like doing it because she's already irritated with him. And
Oh, okay.
also, it must have been where she could smell that he was sweaty and was basically like, just go get in the shower. Don't come on the bed with you and you're sweaty behind and you just finished playing basketball. Because remember, she said to Angela, well, if he come in like he took a
Smelling like
shower,
something.
I'm going to know it's something up. So
Yeah. Okay.
obviously, he didn't smell like he just took a shower.
Gotcha. I
That's
remember
more
that.
so how I took it.
I
And I'm
remember
like,
that.
He got his sweaty ass
right.
on
Now
my
I gotta change all the sheets.
right. Hello.
Exact- Exactly. They was just doing too much.
I don't even do
Uh,
outside clothes. Come on now.
Yeah.
Candy, you so crazy. Connie and her braids, these faulty friends, his mama and her raggedy are not easy to digest. I get heartburn, acid reflux, and an upset stomach. Child, okay, let me tell you, they are not easy to digest at all.
Mm-mm.
So moving past this is we already kind of talked about this and about the trash thing, and this is when he brings that up when somebody's clearly knocking at the door. He want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is when in comes good old Jeremiah, y'all. I can't stand Jeremiah. They if they could just not bring him on the show, I would be okay with it. Not seeing him or his mama ever. But they come in. Jeremiah literally comes in. He ain't even trying to help his mama. He just come in to my get your mama. I'm like, she
Mm-hmm.
bleeding everywhere, bro. You ain't even gonna help her in. Oh my God, Nita, what you think about this whole scene?
Jeremiah is the worst. I was just like, it felt like a setup. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremiah did that to his mother. I don't know. Like, it feel like they working together almost. I'm just like, I don't understand, like, how she is all roughed up, bloodied up, and everything, and then you just like this. All right, go get your mother. I'm like, what is going on? That don't make no sense. It don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It don't make sense.
Okay, I can't stand him either. Yeah.
I agree. I think Jeremiah's the only one that I dislike more than I dislike Nate. I did not believe that she fell down those stairs. It just wasn't giving me that. And then you just want to dump her off and say you leaving and be like, "Oh, take your mother." And I don't know, it was just weird.
Yeah, Zach's
I didn't
story.
believe that story at all.
Me neither. I felt like you need to, in the sense that it almost felt set up. I mean, you instead of you taking her
Hmm.
to the hospital, you bring her over here and say she gonna live. You need to keep you like she gonna live there. Now we know that they mentioned that before because we know that they're getting kicked out of their place. So it felt real set up, and I'm just like, come on, Zach. And then Zach is getting all emotional, and I'm not knocking Zach for getting emotional at all, in no way, form, or fashion, because
Yeah,
he's in the situation. But it just feels like we've been through this so many times. At what point are we going to stop and think, like, why you bring her over here, why is this happening? But it feels like there's been this ongoing cycle of, Zach's mom doing something crazy, coming to him.
absolutely.
Then, it's been back and forth. You can tell that it's been this way for a long time. That's why I understand why Zach doesn't realize that he really does need to talk to someone. But I guess we'll get into that in a
Hmm.
minute. But so yeah, so they're gonna end up taking him to the hospital. But what I did notice is, y'all notice how he tries to stop Fatima from coming. You're not
Hmm.
gonna stop me from coming. I'm your woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be your wife. There's no way you're gonna stop me from coming with you. You shouldn't even be asking me to stay. Like, there's no way in any world where she should have stayed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't make sense to me. Even as we get into the next scenes, let me get this off the stage, off the thing.
Reasonable.
Um, yeah. So they're gonna get to the hospital next. I'm just bringing up these slides, y'all. But they're gonna get to the hospital next, and once they get to the hospital, we're gonna see. Is this the right one? Hold on. Okay, here we go. They get to the hospital, y'all, and this probably was the scene that ran me raggedy and hot. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I was like, I know this did not just happen. It was something about the way he jerked away from her when she was trying to comfort him, and the way she kept being nice. And then when he got belligerent, I was like, man, I would have broke up with him right then, bro. It's over. You take this ring back. I'm done. But no, but seriously, what did y'all think about that scene, Tamika? What did you think about this whole situation?
Yeah, I think the toxic relationship he have with his mother and all the baggage that comes with her and how she triggers him, he takes it out on Fatima. She gets the brunt of it, and that's probably maybe why he was telling her not to come, because he just goes into a whole nother space, and then he's embarrassed of it as well. It kind of makes him feel like he's lesser than, and it brings up all of those parts of him where he feels like, you don't need me, you don't really got to be with me, I'm not as good as you, I don't have what you have, I'm not coming from the background you come from, you see how my mother is and what kind of person she is. And even though she's actually saying valid things, that as far as, well, obviously she needs help, she has a problem, now you're financially set where you could be able to do it. He comes back with, yeah, but she gotta need the help. Yeah, we know that, but she's just trying to be positive, encourage him, let him know that she's there for him. But everything she says, he's literally, throwing it back at her and being negative, and being mad that she's there saying that these things. And he's like, see, that's why I told you not to come. And again, I know she means well. I know she care about him. She don't want to see him hurt him. But I don't know if it was the best thing, even though she just didn't know what to do. That when she got up and, of course, called Doc and let him know what's going on. And he talking about he gonna come down here. I said, Lord, you just gonna make it worse. Zach gonna bop you
Exactly.
upside your head. But yeah, that was a hard scene to watch, and it shows that they really are good actors, because they be getting me caught up in their emotions sometimes when they have those scenes like that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't fair to her. She didn't deserve that.
Right.
Nah,
And
she didn't.
I
What do you
definitely
think,
would have been like,
Kimberly?
okay, I'm going to hell home more. I'm going to work. I'll see you later.
Right.
Okay.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nita, with this whole scene?
Yeah, she definitely didn't deserve the way he treated her. And what I saw, what I took away from this scene, and I know you're going to get there. I'm sure you're going to get there. I feel like he doesn't think he's good enough for her. So
Mm-hmm.
then he has a tinge of embarrassment because of, the same thing Tamika was saying, his background, her parents, his parents, and all of the like or whatever. And then we saw how he clung to Connie in the opposite, and how, she's a roundaway girl.
Right.
I felt like they were more equally yoked, and he didn't feel no embarrassment with her and all that other stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to step back from them type of situations and understand it is what it is. And, maybe if he get himself some help later on in life, we can do it again. But I'm not going to be sitting up here trying to work you through that, especially if you're pushing me away. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Facts, exactly. And those sentiments, exactly what you said, as far as the way he's pushing her away. I mean, for one thing, it's highly disrespectful. He's disrespecting her in a way that she really doesn't deserve to be disrespected. She really has done nothing, but she came down there with him and his mom. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting there with her. She's trying to be there for him, and yet he is pulling away from her. I mean, you're pulling away from me, and we in this public place. I mean, that's embarrassing in itself too. You might be
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed, but now you embarrassing me like this while I'm sitting up here trying to be here for you. Like, listen, I don't know. I think the other side of me would have come out on that one, but I was really proud of Fatima in this moment. She
Yeah.
literally didn't do what I thought she would normally have done, and I was like, you know what? That's a little bit of growth right there, in my opinion. I was like, okay, I'm not mad at this. But when she went and called that doctor, I was like, girl, this is not the place. Don't call the doctor. This is
Mm-hmm.
going to make it worse. I get that she is trying to help, but sometimes helping can make things worse. And I know that she don't know what to do, but Dr. Reed, in a sense, would be the answer if it wasn't so messy.
Yeah.
If Paul hadn't did what he did as far as coming on to her, and if it wasn't his friend, he would be the right person that could help Zach. Because we're gonna see that he actually is talking to him and opening up to him. But as soon as he hears that
Mm-hmm.
thing, that's when it
Yeah.
flips again. Which brings me to the next scene, is when Dr. Reed actually comes in and Zach starts to open up.
Yeah.
This tells me 100% that Zach needs to talk to somebody. He
Absolutely.
needs to talk to somebody. Tamika, you always talk about mental health and self-care and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. What's your take on this whole situation with Zach?
Yeah, I mean, when we started this out and we started getting more Zach back, I was like, wow, this is making so much stuff make sense and be more clearer. And I was saying that I think they both could use therapy, but he definitely needs it in terms of all the damage that his mother did to him. When we hear the craziness about things he saw when he was a little boy and her leaving him and all that different kind of stuff. And I think he definitely could benefit from it. Maybe them even doing couples therapy, but like you said, the fact that this guy is linked to Paul and that just, and I kind of appreciate the doctor being honest. I feel like he had to, but I don't know if this was the right setting to do it. Maybe he should have already did it at the dinner, so we was letting everything else out. But it was like he was getting so far with Zach, and he was saying a lot of valid things that was letting Zach know, like, there's a way for you to get through this, and there's a reason why you're doing the things you're doing and different stuff like that. And the minute he brought up that elevator fight, and it was like, wait, so how you know about it? That just made him even more angry with Fatima, made him angry with the doctor, where he's like, I'm not your client, and, F Paul too, and blah, 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 and I'll do this and that too. And it just blew him up where he actually was, starting to get through to him. And I was like, damn it. I said, I knew this was going to go bad one way or another.
Yep, you
But
said
you
it.
could see that if he really does go to get some help from somebody, doesn't have to be Dr. Reed, could be somebody else. that it definitely could be a benefit from him, and it's not going to be something that's going to be able to happen overnight because he got too much years piled up.
Yeah. Blatant Truth said this lady met him on a bike, broke as a joke. He was not embarrassed by that. She stood by him.
Come on, tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come on, tell the blatant truth.
Yeah,
Look at me with that
that's true, but
wordplay.
at the same time, he wasn't triggered at that point.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Because this mama done came in and just really done put him in a
Brung the
funk.
worst part of him out.
Yeah.
Exactly. She has definitely brought
Mm-hmm.
all of that out of him. But you can tell that, like, he literally he could get to a better place if he
Yeah.
just sits and talk. You can see that he has a lot of emotional trauma
Mm-hmm.
going on.
It's not impossible, but I definitely would have to cut my brother off too. Too many people know where Zach lived. That's another problem he got.
He need a new house. We figured it
For
out, y'all.
real.
Zach needs a new house and leave Deja over there too.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go look at the chat. You can only help a person if they want help. Facts,
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
true. And it feels like Zach is on this road of wanting to sabotage this relationship.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing it on purpose now. And realistically, it feels like he knows that he's doing it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like he's doing it unconsciously. I can't even
Right.
say it. You know what I'm trying to say. It's not like he's doing it that way. He literally can see it. Fatima Self-Control gets a chef's kiss. Girl gets 2 chef's
Mm-hmm.
kisses. Because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, let's see,
Yeah, he
Candy. The
did.
doctor told the truth. Yeah, I hate he told him about Paul. But you know what? I at first I was like, man, why he have to tell him? But then I thought about it. If he really gets into this and he
Mm-hmm.
find out about Paul later, it could just reverse he got trust
Yeah.
issues too.
I
So it
feel
could
like
really
he
reverse that.
slipped, and once he slipped, it was like, well, I don't let the cat out the bag, so I got to be honest about it.
Sorry, Elliot. Amen. Yeah. I think it was the best road to go anyway. And he might
Mm-hmm.
just have to get somebody else at the end of the day. The
Right. And
therapist
that's
was
what I really
horrible.
feel like they should have did from the beginning. I think it should have been like, no, I can't do it for him, but I could refer somebody else that could do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That would
Don
have
says
been
the therapist was yeah, exactly. No, y'all right. Don says that the therapist was horrible, very unprofessional as a mental health professional. Trust is everything. And he betrayed Zach's trust instantly in pretending that he didn't know Fatima. Now, that is true when they were at
Yeah,
the house
that's true.
at dinner. And
Mm-hmm.
that was something that, that Fatima concocted up. And he initially
Right.
didn't want to go through with it, but he went ahead and did it. But when he
Yeah, and
got
I
to the
was surprised
hospital,
that he agreed to it in the first place. That's what I
yeah,
said as soon as it happened.
yeah. When he got back to the hospital,
But
though,
you
I
know,
felt
in
like he
TP
redeemed
world, we
himself.
got to remember it's TP world, not the real world.
right.
That is true because TP world is a little different than the real world. But when he did get to the hospital, I felt like he redeemed himself by telling him the truth and by being honest with him when he saw where Zach was really coming from when Zach started open up to him. So I'll give him a
Mm-hmm.
pass on that one. But yeah, that first one, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, bruh, why you even agree to that? And then season 1, episode 9, Zach said to Fatima that since meeting her, things are starting to be good for him for the first time. He did say that. I
Yes,
remember that. And
absolutely.
then in this right here, when the doctor says something about it, he says, "Are you saying that I'm only doing good because of her?" Oh my goodness.
Right. Hey,
It's,
Savannah.
it's so
Yeah.
much. So then let's move on to the next thing that probably got everybody ruffled up. In comes Nate, Tony, and right behind them is our friend Connie. Now, for me, I'm just going to point out the obvious. Nate and Tony come in. Okay, they're checking on their friend. And this is one of those moments where I was like, okay, these two are okay. And trust me, it didn't change very much of nothing. I was just like, oh, okay, these two being there for their friends. Okay, that's cool. But then Connie comes in and the first thing he does, even when Nate and Tony come in, you see his attitude shifts. His attitude shifts in the sense of he's receptive to them being there. Connie comes in, he immediately hugs her, gives her affection, shows her some sort of affection. Y'all know I was fuming, but I'm gonna let y'all have the floor on this one. Tell me what you thought, Nita.
I was pissed. I was pissed. And you know what? What it showed me, like I almost was like low key done with Zach. This was the first time I was just like, you know what? I might be done with Zach. So he needs a whole lot of redemption to come back in my eyes because this was some BS. It was some bull. I didn't like it. I felt like, I don't know. It ruffled my feathers. Everything you said, I was hot, steaming.
Okay. Exactly. Candy said she just wanted him to lie all the way around. Just go ahead and just say you somebody else. Just help this brother out. I feel you, Candy, on that one. What did you think, Tamika?
Yeah, this irritated me. I mean, at the end of the day, even though I don't like them, we know that those are his friends as far as Tony and Nate, and they're gonna come if they hear something that happened with their mother. They annoy the heck out of me, but they do try to be there when they hear something happen. So on one hand, that's good, and Zach was able to kind of calm down. But if you notice, he even started getting agitated with them when they started to say good memories they had of his mother's. Like he had to remind them, "Oh, don't you remember all the stuff she did to me?" And then he kind of didn't want them to be there no more. But he was definitely more receptive to them than Fatima, and I think it's because they have seen him through all the years with his mother. Whereas with Fatima, he's telling her some of the things he went through, but she was never around for them, you know. And there was times where apparently he had to go and spend the night by her house. I think they was mentioning maybe by the fella's house when she would do her disappearing acts or do whatever things she was doing. And they was like, yeah, we remember, but we also remember that, you know, we would have fun with her too. So it was kind of like mixed emotions there. And then you see Connie tried to get rid of them. Like, I got him. Y'all could go ahead and leave. And they kept saying, you sure? You sure? And right when they said that, I said, please don't do it, Zach, because I just knew he was going to be left here with her and Fatima was going to come back. And that's exactly what happened.
Of
Exactly
course.
what happened. Yeah, and I get it. Like someone was saying that this is. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. Candy said Connie and her braids are familiar territory, along with his raggedy
Mm-hmm.
friends, and that's
Yeah.
very true. You know, they
It's
are
like he
where
could
he.
trauma bond with them.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's exactly what it is when it all boils down
Hmm.
to it. But you know what what I think and what I feel at the end of the day, Zach is not ready to be married because being married comes with a certain set of things. The things that he's going through right now, this is where you lean on your wife. This is where you lean on your partner with. And there's going to be a moment where Zach says, like, hey, you know, I still want to be married. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, you're not ready for marriage because
Exactly.
these tests these are tests right now, you know. And I'm not saying that it's
Hmm.
something easy to go through because clearly this is trauma, this is hurtful for him. But if
Yes.
you can't manage to let her in, how are you going to be married to her? There's just
Yeah.
no way. There's no
And I
way.
felt that way from when he first asked Fatima to move in and when he asked her to get married. I thought it was too soon. As much as I loved them together and I could see the potential, I felt like, why are we rushing? You don't need to be asking that right now. And they are proving me right the more this is going on.
Exactly. Zachary's already been emotionally, mentally, and verbally cheating on Fatima with women already. Now, when he told Deja, what episode was that? Last episode, Tamika, I think, where he tells her like, "Let me leave before I f the you know," he said something
Right.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Zach was definitely out of line. I just feel like Zach's been crossing a lot of lines, so I get where y'all coming from on that. The way he was with Connie versus Fatima at the hospital was just another blow that led to Tima's breaking point.
Mhm.
Yeah, and everybody has one. When people
Mhm.
get fed up, they just get fed up.
Absolutely.
Kind of just like Miss Gladys and Jeremiah see Zach as an ATM to support their addictions. Facts,
Absolutely.
facts. And I think like Zach keeps saying she just want my money, but and like I said, I'm not saying anything bad about Nate and Tony because I feel like under the core they care about him. But there's been several times where Nate said he mentioned that Zach has money now. They can do things on a different level. Basically, he has his house, you know, all of this stuff. So it's just like, bruh, you have money. You have to protect yourself. You have to understand that not everybody is gonna have your best interest at heart. And it seems like Fatima has had his best interest at heart and is trying to be there for him, but he's trying to push her away as you know as much as he can at this point. So let's
Mhm.
move on into let me get this part pulled down, y'all. Give me a second. Um, he's going to end up finding out that his mama left, y'all, again. This mama is just raggedy, y'all. She is working my nerves because every time she leaves, he flips again, so the doctor's going to come in there and he's like, your mama left. She said she was going to come and tell you. And then that's when Zach is going to make the decision to go to the dinner. Now, what did y'all think about this? Does Zach go to this dinner for the wrong reasons? What do you think, Tamika?
Yeah, he was already ticked off. He was already in his feelings about his mother. And I feel like he wanted to go there to prove a point, even though he wasn't necessarily wrong because the parents did do research on him. I already said he wasn't going to appreciate them kind of interrogating him. That's how he was going to take it. He was going to be on defense. And so when he came in the door, he already came in there with an attitude and already came in there kind of saying, y'all think y'all better than me. Y'all think, your daughter's too good for me and all that. For all that, he should have just not even came. It's like he came in there wanting a fight to give him a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I felt too. I was just trying to see if we was on the same level of that. I was like, well, maybe I was thinking too hard about this, but I was like, it felt like Zach came in there ready for that fight. What do you think, Nita?
Yeah. He came in there. I wish him would.
Right.
Exactly. He knew that those parents would be judgmental like that, and it would cause like some kind of friction. Whatever they were going to say, he was just going to take it and just blow it up into something. I mean, listen, he came in there looking for it, and he got it. Oh well.
Yeah, okay. Because we already knew the mama was already ready. I was wondering how the father was going to be. The father was a little more tame. He
Yeah.
kind of did what a father would do. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't disrespectful with it. Now, the mama, you could tell she just didn't care. She just gonna say what she got to say. But the father is just like, we're just trying to, get to know you. Did you learn your lesson? And I felt like in that moment when he asked him in a very respectful way, by the way, did you learn your lesson? He could have simply showed them who he was right then. Like, this was an opportunity for Zach to say some things that could, especially the father, because once again, the mom is already tunnel vision. She already sees what she wants to see. And this comes from her own trauma because you can tell that she has trauma herself as it relates to whoever Fatima's daddy is. She's just mentioned it way too many times, and I'm just like, why do you keep mentioning it? Why do you keep saying it? This is something you haven't dealt with, and you can tell. But the father, you could tell that if I felt like Zach could have just simply said, that's not who I am anymore, and went on. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like he didn't have to go with like, you got some nice stuff in here.
Right.
Just
I could spend the block and all that.
Out of line. He was out of line, out of pocket, out of order. I don't care what kind of chip you had on your shoulder.
Yeah. He could have
even
even said, you know what, can we postpone this? I'm not in a good space right now. My mother's in the hospital. But he came in there. Did you tell them she a crackhead? And yeah, y'all got nice stuff in here. I could say, I was like, really, Zach? Come on now.
That was a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. It's funny when you go back and you think about how he came up in there, but at the same time, it's very sad. It was very sad seeing this character devolve even more because that's what we're witnessing. We're witnessing this character devolve, and he's gonna have to hit the bottom in order for him to come back because he needs to talk to somebody. He has to get this out. Otherwise, there is not going to be a Zatima period. Like it's not gonna happen.
And I hate
Fatima,
seeing this because I feel like he came so far. This is something else that TP like to do with his characters sometimes. But hopefully when we come back for the next part, whenever it is, we're going to see him doing what he needs to do because I really don't want to just see him go all the way down. No.
Me neither. But maybe they'll do a thing where they'll do a time jump. I need TP to do a time jump and have this because I don't know. I don't even know where we are. Like if they even are on the same timeline as the other show. But whatever the case is, I need like maybe a 6 month, 3 month time jump or some 3 to 6 months at least where Zach has been going to therapy, even if it's not with Dr. Reed, even if it's with somebody else. And then they reintroduce us to a happy, healthy, couple. And then they have some other issue come along. But I'm about over this mama. We need to get through this mama drama because the mama.
Yeah, you
Okay.
know how they say it get worse before it get better.
Yeah, we need about a 2-year jump.
The only thing is, I didn't want this baby to be born. I didn't want all the sisters fans to be like, "Who's the baby daddy?" Because don't
Right.
nobody believe Zach is the daddy. So I'm like, look, I don't want to. I don't want to jump that far ahead. Let's see what DNC. Mr. Henry did give Zach an opportunity, but he didn't take it because Mr. Taylor went to his fiance's parents' home with the intention to show his aid. Yep, and continue to disrespect and embarrass Fatima. Yeah, I mean, honestly, all he did was show them that, whatever they're thinking is right. Like they know that's not how he is anymore. If they know everything else, they know the reformed Zach. But he should have showed them this is the whole point. Like he literally came there, embarrassed her even more. He came there with this pent up energy. It just wasn't right the way that Zach came there. I like I said, I love the Zach character, but there are some instances where he does things that are just out of line, and the father didn't disrespect him in any way. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
that mama. Now, that mama was being a little extra, but the father really came to him as a man. It was like, did you learn your lesson? And that's all
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to know. Like, did you learn your lesson? Because this is his baby girl at the end of the
Right.
day. I have a daughter. I'm asking you, did you learn your lesson? You've been trying to run off and marry my
Mm-hmm.
child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understood that. And I guess that's the parental part that,
Yeah.
that makes you see why he would, say that. But let's go to the next part, y'all.
Oh,
Because
I
this
had
is when it gets. Oh, go ahead. Go.
before we move on, because I didn't know if you was going to touch on it or not. But when Zach and Fatima left, you remember the dad said to the mother, "We
Oh,
have
I
to."
forgot about that.
Yes, I want to know what that's
Yes,
about.
I had
What
that in
was
my notes too.
now?
I don't know.
I know he's a stepfather. He's
Mm-hmm.
I raised you since you were 7 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. But what else could it be?
Yeah,
The daddy
that's
out
what
of
I
jail?
wanted to know.
Is the
I
daddy
don't
out of jail?
know.
Maybe because we don't know what her daddy is. Her real
Right.
daddy.
Mm.
Because she's like, you have to tell her. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I did have that note right there.
Yeah, I thought that was real. Like, what do you mean? What we talking about here?
Right, right. And since I didn't watch Sisters, I thought maybe it was something that I wasn't privy to. So
No, they never
Yeah.
mentioned it, and
I
that's
don't
the
know.
whole thing with this as well. Even though I like seeing this dynamic with Fatima's parents, and if anything, we learning a little bit more about them on here because on Sisters, Fatima just usually would say to Zach, "You don't know about my family. You don't know how we get down." I know some
Mm-hmm.
people would even make jokes like, "Oh, she's probably related to Medea," being as though she'd be ready to fight and pulling her gun out. And then we had what was her name? Oh God, I forget. Madam come from or the Queensmen, and they say that's
Mhm.
her cousin, but she would more so make it seem like I got some gangsters in my family. Now I don't know if this come from the mama side or the daddy side. But then in here we got to meet the parents, and you just could kind of see like her mom is a no nonsense mom or whatever. But I'm wondering what's the rest of the picture because she used to always tell Zach, like, you don't want to meet, my family. And she would mention her grandmother as well. So I almost
Mm-hmm.
thought that her grandmother raised her and she didn't really have her parents in her life. So this is like, definitely opening up the door a little bit more. But I felt like we got a little bit more of Zach mom in comparison to Fatima parents. So I don't know if when we come back for the next part, we gonna dive deeper into that part because
Yeah.
they never mentioned this one, sister. So I'm definitely curious. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
heck y'all gotta tell her?
exactly.
Right.
Because
And I
I'm
know when we was on last week live, somebody said, "What if Zach father is her?" I said, "Please don't do
oh,
that."
that would be horrible. But I ain't
Yes.
gonna lie. That did kind of run through my mind. I said, I hope they not related. I was like, what do you have to tell her? Fatima is supposedly raised by her grandmother. I saw a clip where somebody put together a clip
Right.
where it shows where she says, I was raised by my grandmother. And then
Hmm.
she says, with a criminal background. So where did these bougie mom and dad come from? Well, who
Right.
knows?
Yeah,
I
because
don't
I was
know.
ready to see some of the gangster family members.
Right.
Okay. Zach
And
needs
Yeah,
to work
that
on
is gonna be
communicating his.
I
interesting.
was about to say
What'd you say,
maybe that's
Nikki?
the reason why she didn't tell them about Zach. You remember, very, very private with him, and
right.
they don't know nothing about him. They figured it out, and they had to come to her about it, and then she had to disclose it and all that stuff. And so it may be some kind of secret, so something that's going on or something. So I agree.
I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Now that I really want to know that one, that I don't even feel like you can really guess what it is. Like, what in the world could it possibly be? They were so vague with it. So, oh, I like this comment. With Tyler, the world may never know.
Right.
3 to 6 days in TP world takes 3 to 6 seasons. So
that's true.
not gonna happen. That's true too. Yeah. So let's see what else we got in the comments. And all this we see Fatima going through is what Karen dealt with for years, but on steroids. If we're going to be for real, you know, I didn't look at sisters, but I always hear about the Karen, this Karen drama, like Karen and Zach, because isn't that how Zach is introduced? Is in the in a relationship with Karen, right? That's
right.
how we actually meet the character Zach. Now, like I said, I looked at the first few episodes, and the first few episodes I saw, Zach had cheated on her, gave her a disease or something.
Yeah.
I said,
it was messy, baby. It was messy. Okay.
Oh my
it
goodness.
was messy.
Oh dear.
I said, well, dang.
But his dynamic with Fatima was so different, and that's what made them fan favorites. And then when you heard about the spinoff, you excited, and it's like, don't bring them to this show to ruin their characters, because I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's gonna be drama, it's not gonna be perfect, but come on, let's not overdo it.
Okay. DNC says maybe the secret is that they haven't been 100% truthful with Tima about the biological father. I mean, I think it might have something to do with that. Never mentioned on Sisters. While why I look forward to this day, Fatima introduces Zach to Madam. Oh God, that would be interesting. Okay, I'm trying to look at some of the comments. Around her parents, she's acts like she's 12 years old. I think she's just being more respectful than anything, but she does kind of revert back to a very, very, you know, like low key. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Right.
I can see Tyler pulling a country kissing.
Oh my
Lord. God. That was crazy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Daria.
Hey, Daria. Let me get this last. I think this one. Okay, so here's the last little one, y'all. I think this is okay. Yeah. Okay. So these are the last two. So then we have Zach's mama. Then came back. She done got it at the hospital. She done came back, and y'all, Lord have mercy. Zach's mama come in and ask Fatima for money, all while insulting her at the same time. Y'all, talk to me about what y'all thought about this scene.
Yeah, she was already insulting her before they went to the hospital. Now you insulting her some more when you came back. That's why I said Fatima did have some, you know, grace and some calmness about her, because child might have, but she said, listen, lady, it's time for you to go, because she told her she don't keep money in the house. And she took my son, oh yeah, I heard about you when you took all my son money and all this foolishness. And then of course when Zach come in, she just kind of, you know, quote unquote claimed she was blowing up the spot and saying what she saw. But I really think she was being vindictive, like we talked about earlier. I don't even think he did do anything, but he ain't helped the situation. And of course, you know, I don't know how she ended up. Well, I guess if she was in her house, if he was in her house, then they wouldn't have seen each other. Because I was about to say, I don't understand how she left, saw that he was there, but then came here to ask for money. Then why you didn't just catch him while you saw him there?
I thought the point was to come and ask Fatima for the money.
Yeah, it had to be on purpose, because it was like that. It didn't make sense. But you know, child, yeah, she was right to tell her to get out. You know, and even when Zach came in, he was telling her to get out. It's like, you literally snuck out the hospital to get away from me without letting me know you leaving, and now you want to come to ask me about money. Child, listen, I'll be in the crazy house too with this lady.
Yeah. And then he ended up kicking his mama out pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't giving you no money. And I'm just like, but you just had all this energy for I ain't even gonna go there because I'm gonna come
Yeah.
off like I'm hating on Zach, and I'm not trying to hate on Zach.
No, but I was a little confused with this whole,
It was just a lot.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was just
Fatima
a lot.
definitely was still showing her patience.
Exactly, because I was showing mine too. I was like, "Oh my goodness, Zach, you're doing
Yeah.
too much. You're just doing too much." So then, at the very last part is what we talked about, and that was, didn't he? He turns his head and looks. I personally don't think he did. I feel like you went, and I'm just gonna keep it real. Connie is just straight hood rat, and even though Deja got a little hood in her, I feel like if you were gonna be tempted, you probably would have went ahead and you know, get the whole Deja thing. But this Connie thing, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna go with no. What you think?
The only thing I think about the Connie thing, Connie feels so familiar. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's real easy to slip back into, people that you know and through and through and all, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a possibility. And then I don't know why, but that mama, like I said, I don't want to believe nothing she say, but at the end of the day, why would she say I saw you in it messing
Mm-hmm.
around with
Mm-hmm.
the girl? And I was like, oh, but that's what it seemed like that's what he was about to go do.
Right.
Now, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50. One minute I felt like he did. Next minute I was like, nah, they probably just trying to make it seem that way. But the other hand is like he had been kind of pushing her off. And like you said, even pushing Deja off. But Zach just also at the same time, which never made sense to me, puts himself in situations where it's like, that's what we've been complaining about all season. Why are you doing this? Why are you even putting yourself in these environments and situations where stuff could even be interpreted the wrong way, let alone actually get into it. And then what the doctor brought up to him about the fact that he self sabotages and he does things and then be like, "Why did I do it?" I felt like he probably went and did that exact thing that he, was putting off supposedly doing all this time. And then Nate and Tony having the conversation and saying, "Oh, we made a big mistake, didn't we?" Oh, he probably really going upstairs to do it now. Now y'all want to talk about she used it. I said, what? What is this? Yeah.
Exactly. So blatant truth has a question. Nita, answer that question for her. What do you think?
I was getting ready to tell you to highlight that. What are your thoughts on Nate realizing Connie is using it? And he was wrong. Now, I didn't get any. The only thing that gave me a clue that she might be using, but I just felt like she was just a hood chick and she just saw what was going on in the neighborhood. She saw the woman coming and going and getting and using and stuff like that. But I had no idea. But now, you know what, Nate, you gonna have to take that L. I don't know. I hope he take accountability for it, but I doubt it. But if she's using, that could be very, very. Um, y'all said something about STDs and all this other stuff, and if you use it, it's a high percentage for HIV and all that stuff, especially if you're using needles and stuff like that. So I hope we're not going down that road. So
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely hope we're not going down that road.
You know what's interesting to me is that these friends, like this just didn't come out of nowhere to me. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like this didn't come out of nowhere. So you've
Mm-hmm.
been pushing and pushing and pushing for this for ever since we've been watching this. You've been pushing for this ever since Connie has popped up. You were pushing for this. You
yeah,
didn't just now realize that she might be using, bruh. You are trash at the end of the day. That's exactly what he is. That was stupid to
Mm-hmm.
me. Okay, y'all. So I got one last thing, and then I'll look at these comments, and then we'll get up out of here. So self sabotage, imposter syndrome, trust issues. These are all things that I felt like we saw on this episode. I definitely feel like like Zach has a huge case of imposter syndrome. He definitely does not believe that he belongs, that he deserves any of this. That, I mean, he said it so many times,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a lot of trust issues that have come from being abandoned and being left by his mom. Now, I will say this: at the end of the day, I do not think that this is an excuse for how Zachary acted. To be honest, I think that he still has to take accountability for his actions, but I
Mm-hmm.
also think that Fatima has to take accountability for her actions as well. Not that she had any just very bad ones in this, but as we know, there's been a lot of things going forward, like how we talked about how she runs, how she
Mm-hmm.
processes, and all of these different things. A lot of the things that she did when she got the doctor to come there, a lot of this stuff all comes back to communication and talking
Mm-hmm.
things out. So they definitely got to work on the talking, the communication. But in my opinion, Zach has a bigger problem than Fatima at this moment, and that's this mama issue. He has to talk to somebody. He has to work through this so that they can even get anywhere near possibly having a real healthy relationship. Go ahead, Tamika. Tell me what your thoughts are on.
Yeah, I agree. We've been saying since the beginning that communication is the key, and it's not just talking about it, but I feel like they talk at each other, not to each other, and they're not actually comprehending what the next person says. We both are kind of getting, we're guarded, we're taking offense to things and different things of that nature. These friends, I think they need to be eliminated. They bring a lot of the drama into it too. We need to have some boundaries. We talked about that a lot. He definitely got to have some boundaries where his family is concerned. Unless they willing to make a change and they willing to get into therapy too, we got to start, not having so much interactions with them or none at all. Period. And we focusing on ourselves now. That's what I would like to see from Zach going forward with the new season. Actually, see him putting in the work as far as that's concerned. And I feel like if they do that and they actually, are willing to put in the work, then they would more than likely be able to come back together. Because outside of that, when we just see Zach and Fatima in their zone, they are normally really good. Is when these other people get in the mix that all of a sudden we start having more issues. So,
Yeah.
I really do hope that we see him putting in the work. I feel like he came so far before from the initial things that he was having with his other baby mama or Karen or whatever, but I guess maybe because the mother wasn't so much in that dynamic and his friends wasn't so much in that dynamic, we was able to see a little bit of change. And because he seemed like he's interacting with them more, is why it's coming up more now. So I definitely would I would have to cut them down and put more into myself and to get myself the help. And notice one thing we also didn't never get an answer to: who was the person that made up the fake account on Fatima? Because I'm
We
still
never got
trying
that
to find
answer.
out, is it Belinda or is it Angela? I still need the answer to that too.
Exactly. Exactly. Nita, tell me your final thoughts on that whole situation with, sabotage, imposter syndrome, trust issues, and just will Zatima make it overall?
Yeah, I don't think they will. I mean, if you want to keep on going with the show, but baby, if I was the Fatima in Zatima, it would be a no. I'm sorry. I can't do it because the thing is, it's not that, you know, I don't want to help you. I'm here, but you're not letting me in. And you're doing all of these things and stuff like that. It's so hard when, just like when he said something about his mother, like, well, she got to want to get the help. You
Mm-hmm.
have to want to get the help as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, there's accountability on both, but you definitely said that Zach has the bigger problem here. And so he definitely has to do the work. And I don't have to be a part of that. And when you come back, and if I'm available, hello, then we can talk. But I may not be available, baby, because I might have a ring on my finger. So,
because Paul trying to sneak up in
Right.
there. He is definitely trying
Mhm.
to get in there. So listen, guys.
Yes, we might, and I hope we don't see that either. But child, Paul might step in for a minute, honey.
Right.
Hey, Paul said he's trying to get up in there. But
Mhm.
guys, look, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Miss Nita, for coming by. I've I've been watching you, girl. So it is really a pleasure to have you over here. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Tamika, it's always a pleasure, girl. We gotta do the second half of this. I feel like we gotta keep going with the team of the second half will come up at some point. So I feel like we definitely should do this again.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody in the chat that showed up each and every time. I actually have something special for a few people in the chat that I typically see all the time. You guys can probably. I'm gonna put my email address in here. Let me just put my email address in here. That'll probably be easier. The What is my email address, y'all? I gotta think about it. I got like a gazillion email
Me too.
addresses. Just call me
I see your
EJ
I
TV.
see your IG. Tell them to DM you on IG.
Yeah, that's a better one. Yeah, do that because I know that. So yeah, so just DM me on Instagram. It's at EJ the TV Junkie, and it's all over my page. But Shari, you definitely have showed up each and every time. We appreciate you. So if you send me a DM on Instagram, I have something for you. Blatant Truth. And it was somebody else. Tamika, I told you to pick somebody.
um, I don't even remember. I know you said Shari, Blatant Truth, Candy,
Oh, everybody doesn't do IG.
and Daria. Was it? I know
Yeah,
it
and
was.
Daria, yeah, but I think she's
Yeah,
already gone. But she'll show
yeah.
up in
She.
another in
Yeah.
another live, and I'll hit her up.
Candy
Uh,
Love. Yeah.
yeah. So
Thank y'all. We appreciate
yeah,
y'all
we
so
appreciate
much.
y'all so much. So, Candy, Daria, Shari, and Blatant Truth. If you if you can even go to if you don't use IG, there's a post. Like I always post our thing, like our live. Just
Hmm.
under that, just say I won something, or you're gonna give me something, and I'll just give you my email address. That way, you can get your gift. I don't know exactly what it's going to be just yet, y'all. Y'all know I just randomly do stuff sometimes. So we'll see what it is. But once again, guys, thank y'all. I really appreciate it. Tamika, what you got going on your channel, ma'am?
um, to be honest, I know we just did Yellow Jackets. I got up my Bel Air, my Power, and something else I did. Y'all, I don't know. I can't even think straight right now. Check my channel. I know I put up some new videos, and then of course, towards the end of the week, we'll be doing Snowfall, Love at the Lockup. Yeah, I think we're gonna get ready to. Is it gonna be time for the throwback movie again? And we're gonna be doing an imitation of life. So be
Okay.
on the lookout for that. Keep y'all notifications on.
Oh, you're welcome, DNC. Definitely. What you got on your channel, Nita?
Yeah, so I did the Yellow Jackets with Tamika and Moochie, of course, and then also too we did reality talk TV. We talked about Real Housewives, Ultimate Girls Trip, but we do Love and Marriage Huntsville, all of the shows or whatever, and then also too I'm going to be doing Succession and um Power Book 2 Ghost is coming up as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
what's up.
session been something, baby.
I said that I was gonna have to start looking at Secession, whoever that is in the background. Hey.
Hey.
On my channel, y'all, we got Ruthless is coming back out on the 20th. So if you are a Ruthless fan, I'm going to be reviewing Ruthless this go around. I'm also going to be on Vacay J's channel. We are going to be hanging out with all things Ruthless as well as Ruthless TV. So we're going to be having a whole Ruthless conversation. So definitely come and check that out. And then I have my power talks up. Effie been doing the most. So definitely have to go ahead and throw out a video about her. Can we hear you? Can you hear me? There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. No. I couldn't hear Nita. She was saying something, but I couldn't hear.
I was talking to my son. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. It's okay. But yeah, so I got that coming up, and then I have a few rewatches that are coming up of Ruthless. I'm still going to be working on those. It's just so many episodes, so it just is what it is. Listen, Monique, I understand. I just started watching it in December. I had to. It finally. I was looking at a bunch of reviews, and that's how I got into it. So
Yeah,
trust
I
me, I
couldn't never get
understand.
into it either. I tried.
Yeah, I did
I
try.
may try again, but I
Yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, but it actually turned. It was. I was like, oh, okay, but you have to get past a few things, and then after that, you can kind of get into it. So it is what it is. It's dark, so you know how that
Yes.
goes. But
Hmm.
yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming out. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right,
Peace.
y'all.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day.